I wrote this book for so many reasons. Probably the first and the biggest reason is my daughter. I really wanted her to be an avid reader when she grew up, because I love reading. I devour books, and I think it was important to me that in teaching her to be passionate about books and love books, I wanted her to be able to see herself in the books that she was reading. And I was finding when I was looking for books in bookshops, online, a lot of the characters did not look like her, which is great because I want her to have a wide view of the world, but I also wanted her to be able to see herself. And it made me think, actually, growing up, I didn't see myself in the books that I read. I didn't see many things in the media, in magazines, on TV that looked like me. I remember growing up, we used to play with Barbie dolls, and I remember as a child, my sister and I taking our skirts, our most silky flowing skirts, and putting it on our heads and running around like it was hair, because that was what we saw. Silky, straight, flowing hair, and that was what we idolized, that's what we aspired to. There was nothing that looked like us and made it seem it was okay to look the way we did. And it's only as an adult that I can look back and think that had an impact on who I am, how I think. And when I look at my daughter, it's very important to me that she see things in the media, in the things she reads and things she plays with, that look like her, that celebrate her and celebrate who she is. And I think that there are lots of mothers, lots of parents out there who feel the same. And so for me, it's important that we get more diverse books out there. It's important that we get more diverse TV shows, more diverse toys. It's a diverse world, and increasingly so. One day I was looking through Instagram and I came across the Instagram page of an artist that I follow, and she had this picture of a black father and his daughter, and he was literally doing her hair. And up until that point, I knew I wanted to be a writer and I knew I wanted to write a book, but I had the idea that was floating in my head was actually for a young adult book. And it was, almost comic in terms of it was action and adventure. It never occurred to me to write a picture book. It's just something that I hadn't thought about. But the minute I saw that image, I was just immediately inspired, and the title Daddy Do My Hair came to me in that moment. And once I had that title, the rest of the story just came. For me, I think resonated strongly because as a working mother, 2 days a week I'm in the office and I leave the house quite early, and my husband does my daughter's hair, and he had to learn to do that. He did not have a clue. Like, I remember one day at work, this was 7 a.m, I get a FaceTime call from my husband saying, I don't know how to put the hairband on her hair, and I'm having to teach him how to put a hairband on over FaceTime. And it just really resonated with me because I thought, I've seen their relationship grow just in that process and in that time that he's spent and taken to learn how to do her hair, how to style her hair. She has this strong sense of who she is. Like, when he finishes her hair, she will jump down, go look in the mirror and look at herself, and he's like, oh, you're so pretty. She's like, it's pretty, and seeing her confidence grow in spending time with her father and in that activity, it's been beautiful. And so that, coupled with that picture, it just kind of created this moment of, ka-ching, and I was like, yes, this book, I have to write it. I decided to self-publish the book because once I had written it, I did spend a brief period of time sending it out to literary agents and going through the traditional publishing route, and I didn't get much interest, and I didn't know whether it was because, I don't know, if the book wasn't good enough, even though I'd received a lot of positive feedback from people who would actually be the eventual readers of it. And then a part of me was also aware that there is a lack of diversity within the publishing industry, both within the industry as a career, but also from, BAME writers. And so part of me, I think when I sent it out, knew that I may, if I felt passionately enough about it, have to self-publish the book. And self-publishing has come such a long way in the last decade, from vanity presses to giving authors a genuine opportunity and platform to get their work out there without necessarily having to go through the traditional route and the gatekeepers who decide what the public do or don't want to read. So for me, I knew if I did self-publish, I didn't want the book to suffer from that process. I wanted it to be as good or better than any book you could kind of find on the shelves of any bookstore. And it was through that process that I met Rahima, our illustrator. A friend and colleague recommended her because she'd done some artwork for her. And the minute I went on her website and I saw her work, it was just perfect. The warmth that came through in her work and the style of it, it was everything that I pictured when I saw Beth and when I saw her father, and it really excited me. So when I reached out to her, she was equally excited about the book and the work, and I had decided very early on in the process that I wanted to only work with people that had the same level of excitement and passion about the book as I did, because I felt that that was what was going to give us the best kind of end result. And so when she showed that same passion, that was the point I knew definitely I had found my illustrator.
I think this book is incredibly important. It's vital right now, especially the way the world is going. And I think maybe a little bit of maybe my own personal opinion here. I think with social media and just this constant sort of reinforcement of the kind of people we should be, in the way that we should look and the way that we should dress, it sometimes neglects our individuality and natural sort of forms and modes of beauty. And I think it's very, very important to understand that and to celebrate that. And I think what this book does is not only educate sort of young adults, children, parents, elderly about the beauty of natural hair, but it also hopefully encourages young children growing up in this world to want to embrace that natural hair. And I haven't seen anything like this. It's something that the community needs. I think all the communities need it.
When writing this book, I didn't actually have to research it that much because I'm a hair blogger. So writing about hair is something that comes quite naturally, and it's something that I do as part of being a hair blogger. So in terms of how black hair, natural hair is looked after, how it's styled, that was quite easy. I think for me, I found it useful reading lots of children's books. I would just get lots of picture books out different age groups and kind of read through them to get a sense of what writing for children is like, because I think a lot of people think that writing for children is easy because the books are shorter or the language is simplistic, but actually that makes it harder because you have to get the story, the feeling, the spirit of your message in a much more compacted space. So it has to be efficient. You don't have time to ramble on or expand or be extremely descriptive like you would in a novel for an adult.
With this particular book, it was quite exciting in the sense that we had a great briefing. So I sat down with the author and discussed everything that she would want, everything that made sense for this book, and then I started a sort of a selection of drafts. So it was almost like creating a storyboard, and then we revised that storyboard after I received some feedback, and I could really develop the characters and really develop the scenes until they were just right and reflected the writing. I chose the particular style that I have chosen for this book because I felt it was timeless. So it encapsulated the real essence of this book. I feel maybe in 20 years' time, if a child picked it up or an adult picked it up, it would feel as if it was just created. With the concept being hair in this book, I felt to put too much detail into the clothing or to the background would take away from the texture of the hair or the natural form of the hair or the energy that the hair had in this book. So I wanted to put as much detail into that, so that's where Indian ink was very important, and layering with Indian ink. I start with watercolor washes and sort of pencil sketches. These are followed by another layer of watercolor washes to give it that sort of matte feeling, and then I go over it with Indian ink so the detailing starts, and then I scan it, I digitally adjust anything that needs to be adjusted, and then it's ready to go to press.
It's the first in a series called Daddy Do My Hair, and the plans are to have other stories from different kind of perspectives. The next book in the series looks at a little girl who's been bullied, and she's been bullied about her hair and her skin color and how she looks, and it's about her father making her feel better and saying the words that help her to have a better understanding of who she is and love herself. Another book in the series looks at the situation of a single father, because increasingly so we have fathers who are looking after their children by themselves, and we need to celebrate them and you know, what they're doing and recognize their contribution. So for me, I see the series kind of just covering a wide range of topics, all anchored by that idea of a father and a child. I would like it to be read by, this sounds massive, but I would like it to be read by every child, really. I think it's relevant right across the board because it speaks about, you know, the relationship between father and child, and it speaks about loving yourself as you are, as God made you, and natural beauty. And I think that's relevant across races, across nationalities, across genders. So for me, I would like to think that this is a book that you could walk into your local bookshop and find right there amongst all other picture books, and have a child see it and think, oh mummy, look, that looks like me. Or mummy, I know someone like that. Or mummy, daddy does my hair. Or mummy, I'd like daddy to do my hair. Or even daddy, you do my hair. Look, this celebrates us.